The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, dear friends. As always, we come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
And as we start the show off, we're off 6 points on the S&P cash. I don't know how that happened. Must have put one of those red lines in the sand. And they kicked all the sand all over the line, and it's gone. 2406.55 as we speak right now. Volume is very light. Again, like yesterday, 1.65 billion shares as we start the show. So summer trading or no trading. It's hard to actually figure that out. It is incredibly light, though. So what else do we have? Well, we're off. Market tried to bounce a little bit earlier in the morning. It's kind of come back down. We got to 2403. I suspect that we've got, or this week is going to be as good as it gets. Could we get a bounce in the next day or two? Yeah, there's some fun buying. Net, though, it looks like money is leaving. And at best, I think we go sideways through Friday. At worst, they take this opportunity to start selling and sell probably through the rest of the summer. There'll be some ups and down days. But it just looks to me like this market has gotten down to a handful of stocks that you can count on one hand to drive it forward, all the cash going there. The first day today that we've had kind of a little bit better market in the small caps, not that they're up, but just a little bit better. They'd already been kind of bludgeoned a bit, but it sold off in the morning a little bit better compared to the rest. But it really looked like we had kind of the makings of a short squeeze going into yesterday's close. And at the same time, when I looked at the numbers last night and started adding them up, the overall short interest in this market is historically low. Whether you look at the options and the puts or anything else, it's just there is zero chance, let's call it 1% chance, that this market goes lower. That's kind of the way the market's betting right now. And again, that's always the point where you see that everybody is on one side of the boat. And, you see people that are long, and they go, well, I'm going to have to be proved wrong before I sell my long positions. And they get a little greedy, and then the market comes back on them. And then they go, well, it's going to go higher, and it never does. And pretty soon they're in huge losing positions or gave up the last 2 years of winning positions. And they decide to just hold on to it for the next bounce, and the next bounce never comes. And you end up in these markets that basically are rolling auctions lower. But every time we've had short interest levels on a day, like yesterday, we've seen a market pull back at least for a day or two. But I'm wondering just where any of the juice is going to come to push this market higher if no one's shorting other than about 2 or 3 or 4 stocks. And that's kind of the way it is right now, just historically low shorting, except in maybe 5 or 10 stocks in the entire market. Nobody really buying downside protections, and that's why they are so cheap, and what a good value. Even if you wanted to stay long, why not just buy some downside puts? And, they're so cheap now, the insurance is nothing. In comparison to what you could lose if the market does pull back. If you're expecting much higher prices, then it is the cheapest of all insurances that you can buy today. Again, not a lot of volume out here, but again, anytime we're going to start pulling off from the top I'm not looking for a giant sign of weakness, although that would be nice. At markets that have been running as long as this one, I'm looking for what everybody thinks is just a normal light volume pullback, and to watch these folks start to get frog boiled. And I don't know what else you can say. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always post a message in the den, because we're back in there and people are on fire, in fuego for that. In the meantime, we always like to start off the show with a little bit of history.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And what do we have? Yes, frog boiled. On this day in 1859, the famous clock tower known as Big Ben, located on the top of a 320-foot high St. Stephen's Tower, rings out over the House of Parliament in Westminster, London, for the first time on this day. Just 2 months later, however, the heavy striker they put in it cracked the bell. More than 3 years passed before a lighter hammer was added, and the clock went into service again. Actually, the clock continued to run. The bell was rotated 45 degrees so the hammer would strike another surface, but the crack was never repaired and gave the bell a very distinctive sound. In later history, the bell was used by the Nazis, if you can believe it or not. They used to, on BBC, they had a microphone up there and would play the live bells on all the radio broadcasts. Well, some enterprising Nazi decided that he could tell what the weather was like in London and whether they should send bombers by listening to the quality and sound of the bell. Not only was there a big bell, there were 4 adjacent smaller bells on each on the corner of that bell tower. And by looking at the relative strength of those, they could figure the water content in the air and whether or not it was raining. If it's raining, it's overcast, and they probably wouldn't be able to hit anything that they were trying to bomb, although I don't know if it really mattered that much. But the spies in England finally figured that there was something giving these guys a clue, and someone, I think, leaked to them that it was actually the tenor of the bell that was giving the Nazis the heads up. And they started playing recordings and doing just the opposite, i.e., when it was nice, they'd play recording of bells that made it sound like it was raining. And, of course, when it was nice out, they'd make it sound like it was raining too. And it didn't take long for the Nazis to figure out that they'd figured out that the bells itself were telling what the weather was in downtown London by merely the sound of that particular cracked bell. It's named after one of the House of Parliament's big guys that worked in public works. His name, I think, was Ben Hanson, something like that. Everybody always wants to know what it was named after. It was a member of Parliament that was big into public works projects and had worked on this thing for almost all his professional life. And I think he died just like a year before the thing went online, as we like to say today. On this day in 1859, Big Ben strikes for the first time. We'll be back.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're off 7 points on the S&P cash 2406, volume 1.7 billion shares. So volume is light. But again, we are into summer trading. We're going to have to figure out what those new volumes tell us. What else do we have out here? Oh, we wanted to go on to some of the snooze that matters. After the bell tonight, we've got Palo Alto Networks. We've got Box, and we've got HP Enterprise, the old part of HP. In the morning, tomorrow morning, that is, before the bell, if you're in Lutz, Florida, Mobileye, which is being bought out. I don't think a lot's going to happen there. Dollar General, Ciena, and Tech Data. Tomorrow night, we've got Lululemon, Broadcom, Workday, Five Below, and Restoration Hardware. And Friday, Hovenian. So we get yet another read on the housing business on Friday. And so kind of a light move. I don't think anything in there is enough to really jazz the market other than those stocks right now. Broadcom maybe a little bit in the Apple community, because this is going to be the latest we have really on whether or not Apple's going to ship third or fourth quarter for their product. If these guys do fairly well, then look for Apple people to glom onto Apple for its next iPhone release. But again, not a lot happening in that part of it. We're going to look at some of the other things going on in that. We'll go to the movers for today. Almost all these had earnings or some news. ADI had a nice spike earlier in the day. Certainly a volume, and if we go back and look at this one a little bit farther out here, certainly a new 52-week high and a sign of strength. You would have liked to seen this thing probably hold up at the highs today. It's given back about half of its bounce to $90.49, but it certainly does have the juice. At least the beginning part of the summer for theaters sucketh greatly, and many people are emptying their nostrils in the general direction of the theaters for the summer so far. Been one good one, Gardens of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy. This AMC back down to this gap up that goes back to the 29th of February, and that's 2016. So over a year and 4 months, 3 months, 4 months. So we're kind of all the way back down. This thing did go to $35.30. It's been rolling over since December 28th, maybe because of the movies. I keep on thinking I want to go see some of these. I did see Gardens of the Galaxy, and it was an interesting movie, but I haven't seen a movie in a while that I'd go back see a second time in the theater. I don't know if I'd even watch that movie a second time on TV. I was hoping for better reviews for the latest in the Alien movies, but it's okay, but probably not worth me spending $10 to go see it. So I want to go see some great movie, but man, there just hasn't been anything out here to really drive me to a theater. But as we look at it, a lot of volume as we've come down on the top side of this. And of course, you see the same thing in the IMAX, where this thing has blown through its 52-week lows and even longer. In fact, go back to February 11th, 2016, $25.52. We blew through it today. And what was the volume? 500,000 shares. We already have 3 times that already today in IMAX. It just continues to be tougher and tougher as they make these giant movies the same every summer. I think the comic book idea has just been run into the ground, and I think Wonder Woman, some other stuff this summer. I don't know if these things are really going to start being made the way that they've been made, or at least I don't think they're going to be performing as well as they have. Probably time to get some new, fresh blood. It doesn't seem like Hollywood knows anything new out here to show. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always post a message in the den. Most everybody's saying they would rather watch The Simpsons. So, anyway, big movers on that. Again, we talked about Avago. This one opened up a little higher. Again, this is in that same space, and it seems ultra stretched in the smartphone department. The 16th of May was the last high of 241.29. Got into that today and reversed out of it. 2.7 million shares back to the downside compared to the 1.8 million shares to the upside. So, we did kind of go sideways on kind of similar volume. Yesterday, actually, 3 million shares on kind of a doji. But this is ducking back down. I think we're going to get a lot more to look at when we see those Broadcom numbers tomorrow. CSIQ is pulling back a little bit. I don't see that much in it. I don't know why that was in the list. Popping up, Exact Sciences with a little shot of volume. We were back up on 7.5 million shares on the 5th of May. Today we're going through that with 8 million shares. So you do have kind of a sign of strength in that. And, of course, 16 million shares back to April 27th. My guess is there is a double gap right around $26. When this thing does decide to roll back over, that 26 area is the target. Natural gas, of course, anytime you've smelled natural gas, it's got a little odor to it. Well, the odor is everywhere around natural gas these days. And GLNG, which is it's fairly recent, last few years, we're into building a bunch of tankers to take around liquefied petroleum gas. And with the price of LNG headed south, you would think that maybe more people would use it as the price went down, but maybe there's just too much, and people still kind of wary to get hooked and get a habit for natural gas. These last couple of days down on significant volume along today, already 4 million shares, and you're probably it's a decent sized move. I'm thinking at least 2150, and a good chance that we see some of these bigger lows out here actually come in through the summer, which I kind of like. This would be a great play, I think, over time, because with lower prices for natural gas, the more people are going to move to it and transporting it, and of course having the tankers to do so. I've thought a lot about this one, and I think that if you catch this one right, this one may be the biggest mover for natural gas when the time is right. I just don't think it's right now. When we come back, we're going to be talking about robots taking over the world.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Looks like the end of day buying is coming in. Of course, fun buying going on through Friday. I just think it's going to be rather muted for us, but we'll take a look at it. Anyway, liquefied natural gas, I think it's going to be a good business one day. Of course, getting ready to bow to my robot masters. iRobot has been on a tear, never stopped, gapped up on earnings on the 26th of April. Finally starting to pull back a little out here. And of course, we want to start watching these stocks that have been up forever if they can actually close below these 3x3s. This is the first spot of a warning. And of course, this one, pretty nice ability to pull back to about $67. So I'm keeping an eye on this. Again, you want to close below the 9-day moving average, a close above it, and then the next close back below it. And that's kind of going to be interesting. But just the first sign out here that we may see some of these stocks cracking with IRBT. Coors also out with earnings today. And of course, it is going to get the proverbial losing horn today. Anyway, the loser horn goes to Michael Coors, down on significant volume of 12.5 million shares. Retail stinks, and man, this is the next second gap down. Let's go. Oh, I hit the wrong button. It had nothing to do with spam. I don't know why I hit the wrong button there. And it had, okay, come on. We really have to go that far back? I guess we do. So this is breaking below the January 20th, 2016 low at $34.83. I just happen to have my button on the sound player and hit a button that's actually linked to that, an F key, by accident. Didn't think about it. January 20th, $34.83, 3.34 million shares. We got 12 million shares today. So this is, man, every time you think that you can buy retail stocks, and this is not a bad looking chart out here. If this thing was going to get a little bit of a pop, this thing has been kind of going sideways after that last big gap down since February 7th. And man, you've got, this thing just continues to gap down, and gap down. You've got gaps at 90, 85, 78, 60. Man, this thing is gap-a-palooza on the downside. And fashion is fleeting. This one certainly is. I think they were buying somebody, and I can't remember. I didn't look at the news today. It's always bad, especially in retail. But this looks like this is broken. All this consolidation back to August 4 of 2015. So this one gets a double losing horn. Loser, loser, loser. Okay, what else do we have? Micron, they tried to pop this thing earlier in the day. Not getting much out of it. Certainly not the kind of volume you had yesterday. 34.7 million shares yesterday. We look at that, 17.8 million shares today. It's just getting into this big long-term gap down that goes back to, what is that, March 3rd of 2015. So that's, you've had quite the run on this thing. And now it's like a lot of these stocks, just going to have very tough resistance levels on the way down. Teva Pharmaceuticals hitting a new 52-week high, although closing up a little bit. Got to $27.60 today. A VMware, this little baby, should be playing my up, and away in a beautiful balloon. I'll get that one. These stocks that go higher. Tried to go higher, reversed out of yesterday's kind of light volume push higher on May 30th. These kind of a lot of these in rarefied air. Vera Bradley, another retailer, actually coming up off the bottom. Yesterday, saw a little bit of juice come into this thing as it went higher. Today, a lot more. You've got 1.2 million shares yesterday compared to the just under a million shares yesterday. So not a bad pattern. Again, These retailers are scary, though, at these lower levels. Energy, of course, who can say how low crude can go? I talked to Andy Heck a week ago, subbing for Tom O'Brien, and we talked a little bit about what I had a thought on, which is, are the offshore drillers the coal miners in the next couple of years, i.e. just going all bankrupt? And he had a very good article on Seeking Alpha on this. I added something myself to the comments, and that is he hit most of the major notes, left one out. And I was just thinking, isn't this now our offshore oil rigs after the Deep Horizon, isn't that just the kind of the 3 Mile Island of that? If you have a area that's not producing shale oil anymore, investors not going to be happy, but they're not going to yell or scream. But you get an offshore oil well that pollutes the entire Gulf again. I think that's problematic. I don't have any idea how much the insurance is now, too, because I imagine that BP probably had a big oil insurance policy. But to me, the idea that you could have one event like that destroy a company like BP may be one of the reasons why that even at even slightly higher prices, you can't get anybody to drill offshore oil wells. If prices were higher, would they take the chance? I think maybe they would, but maybe it is right now just too expensive of a chance when you can just dig up a little bit more shale. Even if it would be a little bit more expensive, maybe the insurance level and the risk level of a CEO losing his job is it. Yeah, in fact, I was talking to Andy about rig this morning, or at least emailing him about it. So maybe he'll talk about it tomorrow, but a pretty good good thing. We got a soundboard. Another dead retailer. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the other ones. Of course, Amazon to the moon. Mr. Bezos worth $20 billion more than he was at the start of the year. Give you an idea. But you are pulling back a little bit today. Volume's surprisingly good for a down day in Amazon if we want to look at the historically in the last couple of weeks. But again, no signal on this one in FLX. Netflix up here. Again, a little bit of a reversal, not enough juice on this one. We'll go through some more charts through the rest of the day. But, that's it. We'll look at rig when we come back, because I was talking about that. Big or rig? We'll talk about rig when we come back.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
How did we get the Muzak version of that? We're going to go right now to one of our exciting and wonderful listeners, Ron from Denver. Give me a full report.
Hello, David. How are you, sir?
Good.
The reason I was calling was I understand Sony is bringing out these virtual reality headsets, and they're supposed to be standing in line in Japan waiting for the next ones to become available. They've already sold around 50-some million of these PS4s, and apparently the headsets are compatible with that, and they're only $400. It's supposed to be a lot cheaper than the competition. And I just wondered, apparently it's eventually going to lead where you'll be with these virtual reality headsets in the future. You're eventually going to be able to talk to somebody 1,000, 2,000 miles away, and just like you're on the couch with them talking and so forth. Just something of the future. But I just wondered, what do you think of Sony SNE? And also, do you know who makes the headsets, the virtual reality headsets for Sony?
Sony makes them. They make a lot of parts are made by Samsung.
I see.
Sony is one of the biggest electronic manufacturers in the world.
Okay.
So they're making them themselves. The only thing I could say about your assumption is that I have heard absolutely none of those kind of numbers in reality. Best Buy put a lot of the VR headsets in for Christmas, and you could hear crickets chirping. They sold almost none of the Oculus Rift headsets. Again, a lot more expensive. But the amount of people that bought those things, even the less expensive versions and knockoffs that weren't Oculus, have been incredibly minuscule here in the United States. They've had almost none of it. In fact, there have been some major layoffs at Facebook and some of these other guys that are truly pushing all this VR stuff. So this kind of falls into the category of, yes, is it cool? Yes. Are there some very specific business reasons to have this? Doctors kind of practicing surgery and getting a feel for it before they do the real thing. Yes, maybe people flying in aircraft trainers. Maybe that would be kind of an interesting idea. There's a lot of applications for it, but the idea that everybody's going to buy one of these things may be the same thing as everybody who thought 3D was going to be a thing. One of the reasons that IMAX is doing so low is the amount of money they spent to do those 3D theaters and the returns they get on it, it was kind of interesting the first summer. People went to see it. Second summer, not so much. This summer, crickets again, chirping in the 3D theater playings of a lot of these big blockbusters. So it's I don't. Go ahead.
Do you think the guys? Do you think the young groups with their video game with their games and so forth? You don't think it'll be a big item at Christmas if it's $400 add-on?
It hasn't been so far. Normally there's a certain amount of early adopters that would buy like the Oculus headsets and all the other stuff. I think that one of the reasons why Intel's been working very hard with Microsoft and Facebook to come up with some chips that don't burn the side of somebody's head when you put these things on, because they are giant, hungry, power-using devices to really make it look good. So they've either had to do one of two things. They've either had to tone it down, which is kind of what they've done so far, or wait for Intel to come out with chips that use less power and create less heat. And I think a lot of those may be coming out this summer from Intel, but I haven't heard or seen anything in the articles. Japan buying a bunch of, maybe their kids, buying some stuff. Maybe that's a little different than the rest of the world. But for the rest of the world, sales have been in the toilet for VR so far. And again, somebody in the den said, do they even sell 3D televisions anymore? I didn't look last time I was Best Buy, but I can't remember seeing one. And that was what they were pushing for several years. So, it is one of these things that has made its loop. I think the first time was in the 50s for 3D movies. In the 70s, it came back. I think there was a brief foray into scratch and smell-o-vision for one summer. But everybody kind of comes back to 2D movies are kind of the thing. I understand the whole VR concept, but I don't think we're there technologically yet to make it worth it.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your comments very much.
Okay. That's it. In fact, we had one of our guys, actually, I remember the conversation because he asked me what I thought of Oculus Rift. And I said, well, it's $1,500. Then you need a $2,000 computer to run it. And there's not that much stuff for it. I know Facebook closed its entire division for Oculus Rift where they were making just content for it, i.e. games and videos and stuff like that. And it just seemed to me overexpensive and kind of under promising of what the technology will eventually be. And I just don't think we've hit that tipping point. If I see something, I've had them on. I went to Best Buy and played with them. I didn't think that they were anywhere close to being worth $1,500. Are you still on there, Don? Ron?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay. I heard something out there. Sorry, Ron.
No, I was just listening.
Anyway, does that answer everything?
It does, and I'll just watch it and see. But I appreciate it. Thanks.
Maybe there's something new come fall, but I don't see anything right now, and I haven't seen anything in the trades.
Okay, appreciate that.
You bet.
Thank you.
You can be like Ron, a man of action, a boy wonder from Denver. If you call 877-927-6648. I've got a bunch of emails out here. We'll see out here. What are your thoughts on GE and WR? Let's take a quick look at WR. Westar Energy. I don't know much about this company. Let's look at the chart. Well, if I was going to short this, which I think you're looking at, you want $54 on this thing. I like to see him fill the gap about halfway. So you're talking about $54. You'd be lucky to get that, I think, if that is. He says it's WDR. Okay, although that was interesting. Waddell and Reed. Well, a big triangle on this one. I don't know what to do on this. You got to wait until it breaks out one way or the other. Again, lower highs, higher lows. This thing's going to break out one way or the other soon enough. Fade, which way it goes out, is normally the play. No, got a lot of stuff. Ambrilla. We talked about Ambrilla yesterday a bit, but Wayne from Dallas wants me to opine more. So we'll do that. Come back.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we are back. Got a minute to make a phone call here if you're quick on it. If not, Tom O'Brien in the 3 and 4 o'clock hour will be glad to take your phone calls. Did we go through everything in the email? Oh, Ambrilla, that's what we were going to do, and that's Wayne from Dallas. We talked about this thing getting hammered the last couple of days. It's very tough for me to look at this and think that there's a whole lot there. I talked about buying Christmas presents this last Christmas, and how I was buying $35 cameras for all my nieces and nephews that even had the watertight enclosures. And they were probably 95% as good, maybe 92% as good as a GoPro. But again, there's other people building these chips now. Amarillo is not the only one. But to do some of the things that the GoPro guys did, it's there. But at $35 for a camera and 20 accessories, it's very tough to push the very expensive side of this business with Amarillo. For earnings, I'm thinking this thing's back at $45. Would not be surprised to see it back down there. I would be, you've pretty much already lost your opportunity to short it. The risk reward's kind of poor here, but if it wouldn't have been Friday going into that week, if it would have held up and I looked at that, I think this thing is a good bet for $45. There's a double gap there. That's about where support is, but it's very tough for me to see with all the knockoffs available, even last Christmas, that Amarillo's chip business with GoPro and others is not going to continually erode, just like GoPro itself. I think we looked at GoPro yesterday too, GPRO. The only interesting thing, of course, is that there's everybody and their dog short this one, so it can have some decent bounces. GoPro actually kind of reaching some level of support, and maybe even just the center point between all the people that are short this thing at 40, I think it's 40 or 45% of the float is short on GoPro. This thing may be down to 750, 760. If Amarillo goes south, though, GoPro probably is back down at 714, March 15th or lower. And, of course, if the market pulls back too, this could be the disaster du jour coming up at you. See if we had anything else we wanted to look at. Wanted to check in with Microsoft because it had been pulling back and seeing how it did. Okay, volume 16.6 million shares compared to 17 million shares yesterday. So you did kind of tick one higher out here, got to $70.74 and have retreated so far. But again, fun buying out here. I think more than anything, if you can't get this market to go higher in the next 3 days, I think that's extremely telling. The incredible light volume in shorts. Now, if it just hangs around this level for the next few days, I think that's incredibly bearish. This is the heart of fun buying really starting tomorrow and going through Friday. But it continues to make me think that there's just not, this market has been kind of pushed up here on the back of shorts, and they are nowhere to be found over the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days. All the shorts are kind of squeezed out. There just isn't a lot of juice left in the tank to push the market higher. Volumes are light, though. So we'll watch that in a few days. So when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same batch channel, same batch.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.